Hi everyone, my name is Madison Hanley, and for my theory, I got the social information processing theory, which was developed by Joseph Walder in the early 1990s. In the book Engaging Theories in Interpersonal Communication, Multiple Perspectives, written by Brathwaite and Shrout, they describe the theory as the explanation for how people get to know one another online without nonverbal cues and how they develop and manage relationships in the computer-mediated environment. So CMC is computer-mediated communication, which I will be referring to a lot throughout the video, as well as social information processing theory, being known as the SIP theory. The main idea of this theory is that interpersonal communications can form and grow through CMC. So people who are building and developing their relationships through CMC do take a little bit longer to get to know one another than those who are developing their relationship in face-to-face communication environments. And that's just because of the pretty much basics that you don't answer your texts or emails as fast as you would answer a conversation that's going on face-to-face. Something I found really interesting when researching this theory was that I came across an article that was basically an assignment for students to watch a movie called You've Got Mail to compare it to the SIP theory and just see how much of a perfect example the movie is to this theory and kind of how it plays out in day-to-day life. So the movie is about a man and a woman who are talking to each other and building this relationship through an online chat room, and they don't even know each other's real names or where they live or what they do for a job. They kind of only talk about stuff that we would all consider deep and interesting, like their hobbies, their interests, their emotions, and they really get to know each other on this crazy level and really feel like they know each other even though they've never met in real life. In the article, Using You've Got Mail to Teach Social Information Processing Theory, written by Heinemann, it states that Kathleen's strategic placement of punctuation allows her to put emphasis on specific words and phrases and relates exactly what it is she wants to express through email. This ability to replace nonverbal communication with linguistic content is part of SIP's argument that communicators are able to compensate for the absence of nonverbal communication in CMC environments by utilizing any verbal cues available. I thought that quote was really important to add in because it shows the theory that although nonverbal cues are very important in face-to-face communication, you don't necessarily need that in order to develop a really good and deep interpersonal connection with somebody else, because there's this substitution that takes place when you are communicating from CMC, and those substitutions really do make up for the loss of nonverbal cues, and that is a very main idea of this theory. Another thing I found really interesting when I was researching this theory was that most of the articles were referring to emailing being their main source of CMC. Like parents and teachers would have the opportunity to get to know each other and get to have some sort of relationship with each other through emails, which could have changed the whole dynamic of the student, the teacher, and the parent. That brings me to my next point, which is how important and relevant the theory is. So I personally think that this theory is more important now than it was when it was first created. And this is because social media and the internet alone just play a major role in a lot of our lives, and especially in this day and age. The internet and social media are huge in our time, and technology keeps growing, and the more technology grows, the more the internet matters to us. When we think about just this past year dealing with COVID, a lot of us couldn't see our friends and family for months and months and months, and we were only communicating with each other through either FaceTime or text or through Instagram, and having to keep these connections tied with the people that we loved solely through CMC. I think some major conclusions that I can draw here and what prove the relevancy and the importance of this theory are looking at things like keeping long distance relationships alive, or meeting your future husband or wife through an online dating app, or meeting people that live in a completely different country than you, but them knowing everything about you and you knowing everything about them, or staying friends with somebody on Instagram that you haven't seen since you were 10 years old, but you comment on each other's Instagram pictures every week and consider each other really good friends. So I think things like that really kind of explain the theory to be very true and relevant in society today. And I think that's why this theory is really important and really interesting to me, because I think as time goes on, the more important and the more relevant this will get, which is a good thing, because in my opinion, the more we understand about how we communicate through CMC, the more we understand how we interact with one another and how we communicate in general. And to me is a really important theory that is a part of communications. And I know it could maybe be overlooked by others just because people may see it as not as important as face-to-face communication theories. But like I said, the more technology grows, the more us as humans evolve with the technology and learn how to make that kind of our number one source of interactions with most people, the more that this theory is going to be relevant. And I think it's a really important topic to talk about. Thank you guys for watching my video.